Teacher Kim here, and welcome back to my channel. So I got to thinking about my channel and realized that I never told you who I am. I mean, there's a few little things here and there, and you can watch some of the lives and get some information about me, but who is Teacher Kim? So a quick little overview. I was born and raised in South Carolina. Ever since I was 3, I had 2 dreams growing up. I wanted to be a teacher and I wanted to be a mom. And most importantly, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom if possible. I always thought I would teach a few years, have some kids, stay home with the kids, and then go back to teaching maybe eventually. Just thought that's how it would work. Life doesn't always work the way you think it will. I graduated high school many moons ago and went to college. I have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education, elementary education, and then I went ahead and got my master's in middle school teaching and learning, middle school education. So I have a very broad range. I have taught in the public school for almost 4 years. I taught in the public school. I left when my son was a baby. I have 2 children. If you've seen my page, you've probably seen my kids. My son is almost 10. He'll be 10 in a couple weeks. And my daughter is 4. So yes, my bachelor's degree is a dual bachelor's degree. I have my master's degree. I have taught public school, 5th grade, 2nd grade. I've taught 2 years of 4K at a Head Start program. I taught 2 years at a daycare. Mostly, I originally was just kind of wherever they needed me, and with 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, and then I ended up in the last year and a half or so, I ended up being with just the 2-year-olds by myself. So I worked with 2-year-olds. I have also taught adult education programs. I've tutored privately high schoolers. I've tutored middle schoolers. I have worked with middle schoolers. I have kind of done the gambit of, I have a very broad range of teaching. So I have a lot of experience teaching. And then of course now I teach online. So since the last time I even talked about teaching online, specifically what I do, I've actually kind of changed a little bit. Back up for a moment. I was working at a daycare, and my husband got the job opportunity to move to North Carolina basically in January of 2018. He was told he had to move to North Carolina if he wanted to keep his job. So by March 2018, we found somewhere and we moved to North Carolina, which is about 4 hours from where we live, so not a big move. But we packed up our kids and moved, and I decided just for the end of that school year, I would homeschool my son. My daughter at the time was just turned 3, or just about to turn 3. Yeah, just about to turn 3 when we moved. And so I was just going to finish the school year with him, look for a teaching job in a public school to start up in August, and put her in daycare and put him in public school. That was the plan. Well, as you know, I'm a Christian. I posted on my channel before. So God has different plans for us sometimes. Well, God had a different plan for my life. So by mid-April, we realized that while my husband gets paid really well, paying everything out of what he made without me working, just even temporarily, wasn't cutting it. So I was flipping channels on the TV one day, which I rarely flip channels. Normally I scroll through the guide like most people, but I was flipping channels and I landed on the 700 Club. 700 Club. What? I never watched the 700 Club. And the commercial said, because I got distracted by my daughter, and the commercial said, this teacher works from home and makes over $2,000 a month. And I'm like, what? That sounds interesting. So, okay, I'll listen in. I decided I would watch the next little part and see what it was. Well, it was an ad for VIPKid. So I started looking online, and I told my husband about it, and he said, well, if you think it'll help till you get back to teaching, till you get a public school job, he said, go for it. Because at the time I was finishing my master's degree, and I had to finish my master's degree in order to renew my teaching license. It had expired, and so I needed the master's degree to renew the license. So that was going to take that summer, and I knew I also had to get the license to apply for jobs. It's a whole little, step to step when you're teaching. So I have class in like 5 minutes, so I need to hurry. But so I went ahead and applied for VIPKid. All I had to buy was, I had a computer, I just needed a headset, and my mom bought that for me. And I applied, and I got hired. VIPKid, I love the company. I love all the companies I work for, but they take a little while to get started. So while I went ahead and put in with them, and I got my first booking. All right, so I signed my contract at the end of April, and I got my first booking in May, and I got like 2 or 3 bookings in May. Well, 2 or 3 bookings does not pay the bills. Come June, my in-laws had paid for us to go to the beach, and honestly, I was kind of dreading it because at the time my husband had not been with his work long enough for him to get paid vacation, because you have to be with some companies a while to get paid vacation, and he had not been long enough. Obviously, he had just technically he got hired on in March when we moved. He had been working with them as a temp. So I get distracted, sorry. So we were going on vacation. We didn't have any income. We had just what he made. And when you have a family of 4, rent, car payments, power bill, blah, 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 it's hard to do. So I got a message on Facebook from someone one day, and they told me about ITuturGroup. This was like early June, like maybe end of May even. And I was like, well, I kind of like the company I'm with. I want to give them time to build up. You have to build your brand. And so I was like, I'll think about it. And so I prayed about it, just like I've done with every other opportunity and every other job I've been given and taken. I pray. Well, I've been praying about it and kind of going back and forth. And my husband said, well, you do what you think's best. He said, we need the money, but you do what you think's best. And I was like, Lord, I don't know what to do. And about the time I said that, I got another message from her. This had been a couple weeks. She said, hey, did you reconsider? And I was like, okay, that does it. So I signed up with ITuturGroup, and I started with them in June of last year. Since then, I did the math the other day, and between VIPKid and ITuturGroup, I've taught close to 3,000 classes in a little over a year. And that was just mostly part-time. I have stepped up my game this summer, working more closer to full-time hours, trying to earn extra money. And because, you never make enough money. Since VIPKid slowed down a little this summer for me, I had an IT issue because I took my laptop to the beach this summer and forgot my charger. My laptop died and had an IT issue. So VIPKid slowed down a little bit, so I added in GoGoKid. And I've taught 1 class with them so far. I also added in Cambly. I haven't really opened them up yet. That's more of a taking phone calls. I've tried like 1 time or 2 times to get online, but it's hit or miss on them, so not really doing anything with that yet. And I also have applied to Varsity Tutors. So if you add that up, I actually work for 5 different companies. 2 are my primaries, ITuturGroup and VIPKid, and the rest are all secondary. But I say that to say, 1, it's never good to have all your eggs in one basket, although there are some great baskets. 2, I love variety. And 3, I love what I do. I get to be a stay-at-home mom. I get to homeschool my kids, which is what I always wanted to do, was to stay at home with them. Not necessarily homeschool, but I like what I do. I like homeschooling. My son is 10 years old. He's in 4th grade. He is testing at an 11th grade math and reading level, and that is not on me. He is just that smart. My 4-year-old is just turned 4 in May. She can write her letters. She can read a list of her letters. She knows all their colors, all their shapes, all that kind of stuff. She is a linguist. She can talk to you for a while. So I say all that. I'm not bragging on my kids. I say all that to say I really love what I do now. I love that I get to work online. I love that I get to be with my kids. I love that I get to watch them grow and learn. Well, I have class in like 30 seconds. So I will see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. And if you have questions about who I am, leave them below. Let me know. And I'll see you soon. Bye.